grief of being a care partner, a family member, a partner of somebody who is living with some form of dementia, who is in a setting, a residential setting, a care setting, and you were part of their day every day. You were part of life every day. You were there for significant moments, not necessarily long periods of time, but significant moments in the day. You were part of the fabric of their day, and they're the part of the fabric in your day. And being there not only filled time, it filled you. And now you're dealing with a great big hole. And not only a great big hole, you can't even frequently monitor how they're doing and what's going on, except when the staff, who are trying really hard to keep life happening for everybody, are not only doing the thing they've been doing, but trying to fill in the hole that you used to fill as well as they can for not just your person, but multiple people. And at the same time, try hard to adhere to the requirements of social distancing, even though the people in their care are not really candidates for social distancing for the most part, because of the needs of support that they have, which is why they're there and not with you. And that adds an element of uncertainty and fear and concern, because you saw that people weren't not trying. They were already trying to do things. But the reality is they were stretched to get done what needed to be done for their part of the puzzle, and you filled in a part of the puzzle. You were as much a part of the day for them as you were for the person you care for. And now you aren't there. And so from the perspective of the person who cares about someone, who loves someone, who has been part of daily life, there's an empty spot, but there's also a weight. And there's a sense of not chosen separation. And yet you did, to some extent, choose some separation, because there was a difference between your role and the care role. And the care role and the environment of care was chosen because this person needed that level of support. But that didn't mean they didn't need your support too, and you didn't want to stay engaged. And so this grief, this loss, is very real and very large for many of us who are feeling that sense of not being and not knowing. And so if we look at human emotions, one of the realities is when we grieve, we feel some kind of combination of these emotions, but we also can feel them over and over again, and it can become a cycle. And the grief, the emotions that we feel can come more and more and more. Or we have the potential to maybe figure out how to not let those emotions rule us, but instead find some level of satisfaction or some level of acceptance. And we're really trying to get to a level of acceptance in the moment, but not forever, but ooh. And here's the scary part. For some of us, it might end up being forever. Ooh. And so we don't like thinking or talking about it, but in our heart and in our head, it's happening. We have those because we're seeing the numbers in the reality. So here's the thing about me. I don't try to dress things up and make them something they aren't. This is an incredibly difficult time for folks. But at the same time, what I'd say is, just like dementia, some people will come through this surprisingly well. Some people will come through this with wounds and it will be different. And some people will come through this truly, well, they actually won't come through this. And we know that. But that could be true for us as well in our emotional state. So we're going to have to work hard to try to overcome this sense of not only separateness, but loss. So the way to deal with loss, quite honestly, is to figure out what you have. Because when you put your hand out, there's nothing there. But in fact, If you look up from your hand, you'll see there's possibilities out there. But one of the tricky things about right now, those possibilities are so different than what they were before that it's hard for us to see them as possibilities and just more shut doors and closed windows. So this is where the internet and the phone and the neighbors that you can talk to at a social distance and the visit to the store for the essentials can actually turn into those connections that allow you to look up and out. And when you greet someone, you might actually try, hey, Corey, here, here, or here. Ooh, there. Well, that's not good. You know what I'm going to ask you? What are two things that when you were with your person, you loved about being with them? Because what I want us to do is get some chemicals inside you, those positive chemicals, the things like serotonin and endorphins and dopamines and oxytocin to flow. If we can get some of those chemicals up, they can keep some of those negative emotions from being so overwhelming. And what we're doing is actually talking and thinking about what's real, what's possible, and what's important. So if I can think of two things that were really good about the visits, and we can talk about those two things that were really good about the visits, then we have the possibility of, okay, so are you getting a chance to at least visit virtually? Yeah. So when you're visiting virtually, are you trying to do something that your person is not particularly good at, and you know that? Like, for instance, talk with them? Then let's think about the thing that you guys did do together. Like, you each had a cup of coffee. And when you talk to care staff, could you do me a huge favor? Could you get her a cup of coffee and put the creamer pod right there? And then when I call, hey, oh, before I call, I need to go in the bathroom. I need to practice making my face be happy. And it'll be hard because that may not be how I'm feeling. I'm really missing you. But I have to remember who my person is. And when I visit, I'm visiting for them. And if I want to do the thing that I do well and support, I need to be the person they need me to be. And I need to be present. And ask staff to record the interaction if you can, because this is going to be your candy for when you can't be there and you need something sweet or something special, because we need some new strategies. I need something to hold on to if I can't be present. So I go, got your coffee? Ooh, look down. Your creamer. Guess what I have in my hand? Same creamer. I open mine up. I put it in. You got it. You got it. I love you. I love you. A bushel and a peck. In other words, use what you know to fill the hole that you have in the moments that you have. And if they're recorded, play them over and play them over. And try to remember when you first started learning how to do the thing you had to learn how to do to stay with your person. This is going to be a learning process, and you may not get it all right the first time, but what you have is time to practice. Try it out with a friend. Try it out with someone else who knows the person. Build a team. Be with each other. Oh, believe it or not, look, you figured out there was something out there. Talk with somebody. What are some things that you're doing with your person? Rather than simply grieving what you can't have, look at what you can have in this moment. And it may be, if you remember some of the things that give you joy, you can remember that in those moments, I love you is a lot more important than doing nothing but remembering I can't be with you. So we'll have more sessions like this because, frankly, a lot of folks are feeling this way, and it's a scary place to be by yourself. Here's the thing, we aren't alone. Together, we're a strong community. And this afternoon, this evening, at 5:30, we're going to gather for a little town hall to start doing some conversations about how to come together and move it forward for people living with dementia, because it's pretty much something we barely talk about. And we also need to talk about the people who are family members and the people who are care providers, and how we need to work together to support one another, and most importantly, the people living with dementia that we care about, because none of us can do this alone. So till tomorrow, it's Teepa. Thanks for being who you are, and thanks for being curious.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to help us spread Teepa's positive approach message around the world. And don't forget to click the bell to get notified when new videos are posted.